Good evening, everyone. My name is Olga, and as always, every Friday and Wednesday, I'm continuing to read messages from Cosmic Christ. He has been given messages to Yelena Novosvit, and she receives them through the gift of clairaudience. He has entered into contact with Earth since 2000 and been given her Yelena messages. Now there was another lady in America, I don't know if she's still alive, Virginia Essen. She also received messages from Christ. She has written one book where she recorded all of the messages word for word, the very first book. And Yelena, however, for all this 18 years, she has recorded 19 books of messages that Christ gives to awaken humanity. The messages, the books are not translated yet in English. Yet first one is translated in English, but not available for public yet, the English version. And that's what I'm reading from. The name of this book is called Christ, Messages to an Awakening Humanity, a Living Word. And a living word, I never really gave not just my thought, but my explanation why it's called a living word and why Yelena chose this. Because every word in the messages is alive. And if you open your heart, it will transform you from your inner core, from your inner essence. It will open your eyes. It will help you get on a path of ascension. And you will start to illuminate light. And today's message is going to be very interesting and one, that many people are aware of, but don't maybe not necessarily know how it works. And Christ has given us explanation and the essence of that. And today's message is going to be about the power of thought. So the power of thought. Does a thought have a directional power or does not? Why is it necessary to bring a word and a thought to an agreement? Because they are interconnected. Your word is a thought converted into energy of sound. The sound is an air vibration that causes auditory sensations. Their intensity differs and depends on the energy power put in this flow. A thought is also the energy that radiates other vibrations into space. It is not as tangible but equally efficacious. A thought directed at an action has every chance to realize the conceived, because it lays the foundation for building the future. It creates mental image, a picture of what is desirable at the level of energy. Constantly and persistently wishing for the conceived, you will receive it. Not necessarily in the material form, but in the world of energy. This phantom already exists and creates the prerequisites for the realization of the conceived. The power of thought is directly connected to the one who sends it into space. Hence, thoughts have different acceleration amplitude and different power. It depends on the vibrations of a certain individual, on what frequency he or she sends a thought. The frequency depends on the degree of purification or the purity of the one who sends thoughts. An individual who has a dark and turbid field is not capable of sending thoughts at the subtle level of vibrations. His thoughts have the power but cannot be realized in the highest realms. The thoughts of a person who has brought everything into themselves to an agreement and distinguished by enormous potential and a great power, because they are coming through a luminous field, the Creator's channel, and are directed to the light and radiate the light themselves. Such thoughts are capable of creating, capable of purifying space, capable of dissolving darkness, for light always devours darkness. It is power. Your power is enclosed in your luminous field, which can be purified and made luminous by you, by your thought, by your aspiration to this, your aspiration to bring light and get rid of everything untrue and rough that hinders this purification. Light is enclosed in you. You have closed it in yourself. You don't know that you have the power through your divine particle, which is in all of you. Think about your true essence. Set in motion all of your thoughts to direct them to work. This work is essential. Without it, there will be no results. Without your serious conscious attitude towards yourself, without the control over your thoughts, ideas being converted into actions. In the world of energy, everything is interconnected. A sound, the expressed air exhalation you hear, and a thought, the air exhalation you don't hear. Their waves and frequency should coincide, as this discrepancy, invisible to you, is visible to us, because we work in the world of energies. And for us, all of your thoughts are visible and real. Belief is true. Believe that I wish you to achieve purity and agreement between a word and a thought, and together they will perform deeds. Let them be for the good of all living beings. Christ the Teacher, November 30th, year 2001. I have my own example. I have my own example of thought power, and especially where Christ talks about being pure in heart, purifying your field, purifying your thoughts, wishing good and being good, and illuminating and radiating goodness and divine light. So before in my life, I noticed that if I really want something for a long time, it happens. It just miraculously happens. However, after my awakening, my major awakening in 2016, when I had a serious emotional traumatic event, and I didn't want to have to do anything with the person I was, and wanted to completely transform and be good and think good and bring only good to people. I worked hard on purifying myself, on purifying my thoughts, my whole essence. I guess you can call it bringing in spirit into the body and connecting it with the soul. So ever since I connected with the divine, ever since I start purifying my own field, my own self, you guys, I can't even tell you, I think about something and it happens. The power of thoughts became so incredibly powerful that I manifest at such a fast rate, and not just fast rate, I get more than I asked for. And I will give you a small example. Before I came to work at the salon in Laguna Beach, I was actually thinking I want to work either Laguna Beach or Newport. No other place. Either of these cities. That's the only cities I want to work at. And I told myself I'm gonna find a job within 2 weeks. And I didn't just find the job within 2 weeks. I got in the salon that has both locations in Laguna Beach and Newport Beach, sorry. This is how powerful my thoughts became, and they gain more and more power as I purify more and more my essence, more and more my soul, more my spirit. So for the same, I would advise you guys to do the same, because I am living example of how powerful your thoughts become when you connect with divine, when you connect with God, when you connect with Christ. This message really speaks to me. The whole book, every message that I read to you, when I read it for the first time myself, I was like, oh my gosh, so this is what it is. And even about power of thought, I noticed that my thoughts became like so powerful and I manifest so fast and so strongly. But reading this message, Christ explains why. Because my field became more pure. And if I think about it, yes, that's true. When I decided to purify myself, to connect with God, to connect with divine, that's when my thoughts became the most powerful. So that said, I wish you guys purification. I wish you guys cleansing, in each and every one of you, cleansing of your soul and connection with the divine, connection with Christ the teacher and with God our Father. Thank you everyone for listening, and I will be back on Friday, and we're gonna continue reading the messages, and the next one will be about actual thought concentration. It's very, very interesting as well. So have a good night everyone, and I will see you on Friday.